We faced a huge deficit this year in the city. At one point, close to $500 million deficit in the upcoming year. What we've had to do is reduce many of the services potentially that we'd have, look at how we get back to the core services what a municipality is supposed to provide. We were almost potentially going to get down to zero on our reserve fund. What that means is if we had any kind of emergency, we had some natural disaster, which unfortunately Los Angeles often has had, an earthquake, fires, we wouldn't have the cash to be able to respond. And this is a crisis that we're facing in this country and the state and the city, and that we don't want to become a third world country. We can be eternally optimistic, but if your optimism is blinding you to necessarily some of the problems that you face, it's going to be a revolving door and a cycle that we can't get out of.
Hey, baby. Do you want hamburgers, Justin, or do you want hot dogs?
Hot dog.
Yeah, I think the kids would prefer hot dogs.
Watch out, Justin. You can't come over here, son. It's going to get really hot soon.
I was working at a hotel as a reservations agent. It was a really good job, and I loved it. In school, we learned that California is, I think it was the 7th largest economy in the world, not just the country of America, but just the state of California. When I started working, it was so easy to find jobs. I mean, I'd walk in somewhere, hey, you hiring? and they'd have work for you to do. It was no problem at all. And since I've been back, it's incredible to me how much the town has changed, how many more people are in their cars, how many more people are on the streets, how many more businesses are closed down, empty storefronts, and it's just sad. You guys ready to eat?
Yeah.
Taylor!
We were living here in Santa Barbara in a 2-bedroom apartment for a year and a half.
And then how long did it take? I mean, you both lost your job?
It was so fast. I lost my job, and 2 weeks later, she lost her job.
And then?
And then it was probably 2 weeks after that, we were in a motel. I mean, it was fast. I'm an electrician, and when all the housing market crashed, work got really, really hard to find. And it just hasn't really gotten any better since. Well, they give us food stamps. You can only buy food with it. And I think they give us $600 a month for that. So that's actually quite a bit of food. It's pretty much the only thing we have is we have a lot of food, but not many places to cook it, so. This is the only place that I've found so far that we can cook actual food. Our refrigerator in our RV doesn't work, our heater doesn't work, our burners don't work.
Yeah.
Taylor, I said stay inside. Justin, come on. Come on.
Cool.
Well, that's good, honey, but we're not going to come back and play here. We're going to go over to the parking lot.
Yeah.
You want some chips? As soon as we started thinking about the idea of buying an RV with the last of our money and everything, we started looking for where we could park, and we started noticing there's just a ton of RVs in this town, and they're on the streets. And when you go by at 2 in the morning, they all have their generators running. Clearly, people are living in them. They're not like there for when people are on vacation, like you might think. People are living in them, and I didn't realize how many people until we started doing this. Especially for families or people with children who are living out of their car. Santa Barbara has this great program, the Safe Parking Program, where they provide people with a parking space like this, where it's off the road, where we're not going to get harassed by people, probably won't get broken into. We won't get harassed by police or ticketed or towed or anything like that. We're totally safe sleeping here, so that's basically the program. I mean, it has its limitations. Of course, it's only here during the nighttime, but it's a good program. So we can come here anytime after 7 p.m., but then we have to be gone by 7 a.m.
There are a lot of people who are losing their homes. You can see all the for lease, for sale, for rent signs everywhere. It wasn't like this a few years ago. Some people are very depressed. I mean, it's depressing to lose your job and your home and maybe some of your possessions. It's a very degrading thing for people to go through when they start losing all the things that they knew and had worked hard for. Candace, hi. How are you, darling? Are you still over at Casa Esperanza? No? This is Jess, and he and his two sons, who are 14 and 15, live on the bus, and they've been in our program about 4 years. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good.
Good. Yeah, you need anything?
Yeah, 6 tires.
Yeah, 6 new tires for the bus, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get that money
Take a look.
together. I talked to my boss, and he doesn't have any cash.
Yeah, that's always his story.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, we didn't get very much this year from the city or from any of the people who usually donate.
Yeah.
So things have been pretty bad. Yeah, well, Food Bank Day is Thursday, so I'll come by and see you on Thursday after the food bank in the afternoon
Okay.
and drop off some food and stuff.
How did you end up in this bus?
The dot-com bubble, and I lost my houses and everything eventually, and this is what we had left to live in.
What were you doing as a job?
Software engineering.
Sorry?
Software engineering.
And then you were fired?
No, then my company went out of business. I was the CEO of a major dot-com.
You look familiar. Which parking lot are you at?
You want to see my box?
Yeah. Oh, you're all ready to do collections for food and everything, huh?
I tried it once, it didn't work. Do you guys have spare change?
Uh-huh.
You do?
I don't have anything
Oh.
on me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't have a thing.
All right, on. Peace and love. Power, power. That's from the 60s.